our tornado threat, and I want to break down the radar and get into that for you right now. So as we take a look, there is this elevated risk of tornadoes today. Be prepared. When we talk about tornado preparation and severe weather preparation, things have changed a little bit. You know, it used to be, hey, just have a few supplies stocked up, you know, keep a weather radio nearby, listen to your TV. All that stuff's very, very legit. But we now have these mobile devices, phones, tablets, other ways that we can get alerts. And one of the best things you can do is make sure all of your mobile devices are fully charged before severe weather hits, because there is that threat of losing power. Whether it's a tornado or straight line winds, we can have some outages today. So make sure you and your family are prepared. All right, we'll take a look at the satellite and the radar images. Let's take this full. I'm going to walk over to the pod where I can manipulate the radar a little bit. So let's take this graphic full, and you can see this big storm system rolling through the Great Lakes region. That's where the center of low pressure is. We have a new watch that is down to the south. So let's stop it right here, and I do want to put on our surface features. You can see that new watch down across Georgia and South Carolina. There's the front. So you see we've got this cold front out there, and this front right here, this thing is what's going to bring about our big changes. Today, we have winds coming up ahead of it from the south. That's really going to continue to create a very unstable atmosphere. And as we take a look here, we're going to see storms erupting as we go throughout the afternoon and into the early evening. This front is going to push through Hampton Roads. I think the frontal passage occurs between 8 and 10 o'clock here in the metro area. So it's going to take a while, but it's all of the development out ahead of it. That's what's got us really concerned. When this front comes through between 8 and 10, a lot of that energy will kind of be robbed already from the atmosphere. So we may actually catch a break when the actual front comes through. But out ahead of it, we're looking at several waves of potential severe weather, especially during the peak heating of the afternoon. So that is a big concern. Now, let me give you some more information here on the watch, and let's zoom in a little bit. We'll take you into the southeast U.S. You can see these areas outlined in magenta. These are all tornado watches, and there will be, I believe, tornado watches issued all the way to the coast as we go through the afternoon. I'm fairly certain of that. As a matter of fact, I am certain of it. You take a look right now. This is a new watch, and let me put the information on this for you so you can see what's going on here. We do have this tornado watch that will run until 2 o'clock this afternoon. Now, this was just recently issued. It includes the cities of Durham, Greensboro, Raleigh, Winston-Salem, also the cities of Danville, Lynchburg, Roanoke, Salem, and those counties there. You see a few of them out to the west, all the way down, again, through Raleigh, this area, some densely populated central portions of North Carolina. The Charlotte area has been under thunderstorm watch this morning, but they are also under a warning right now. So I'll go ahead and click on that and show you that thunderstorm warning for Charlotte. So down that way, almost 1 million people, 985,000 people under that right now. So you can see there is this potential for severe weather across western parts of North Carolina this morning, and then into central Virginia and North Carolina as we push into the middle part of the afternoon. There is a thunderstorm warning there just out to the east of Roanoke. I'll highlight that one. This includes Danville, Forest, Lynchburg, Madison Heights, Buena Vista, Danville, Lexington, Lynchburg, some of the cities there, and about 224,000 or so under that thunderstorm warning as that area continues to work off to the east-northeast. So that's what's out there right now. Down to the south, we've seen some more intense storms, and the outlook for severe weather today, we are going to see widespread activity over portions of Virginia. I'm showing you this down to the south, and we'll very quickly take a look at the radar mosaic once again, just to give you a feel for all of the warnings that are out down to the south. Numerous thunderstorm warnings over portions of western North Carolina, South Carolina, down into Georgia, even the Florida Panhandle. You head down there not far from Panama City, Port St. Joe, and Carabel up through Tallahassee, now just past Tallahassee, some severe storms there. And then notice, cold enough for some snow on the backside. Hit something else. Look at Chicago. We got a little advisory up there. We'll pop that up just to show you that in Chicago. obviously densely populated. There's 10.3 million people under flood advisory there in Chicago, and now snow working down across Wisconsin. So this is a pretty amazing storm system, a large storm system that is wreaking havoc with much of the country, the eastern U.S., and it's going to continue to push closer to the coast. Now, as we take a look at our outlook, this is what I want to key on for Virginia and North Carolina. Let's come back out on camera here so you can see from this area, Washington down through Raleigh and Columbia. This is a level 4 threat. Now, we talk about this a lot. You know, we have these various levels. Level 1, green, it's a marginal threat. Yeah, there could be a few isolated storms. It's a possibility we could see a few isolated severe storms. When you get into yellow, that's the second tier. That's what we call a slight risk. You expect scattered severe storms. And we see levels 1 and 2 pretty frequently during our spring storm season. We get those quite a bit. We get into this level 3 several times a year. Not a ton, but we do get up to that level 3, what we call an enhanced risk, where numerous severe storms are possible. I'd say a couple times a year anyway. The chances, though, of getting to this 4th level here in Hampton Roads and closer to the coast, this doesn't happen that frequently. Widespread severe storms are expected anywhere from Maryland and the D.C. area down through central and even eastern portions of Virginia, through central North Carolina, and all the way down to Columbia, South Carolina. So Florence, they're under it. You can see Raleigh, Rocky Mount, Charlotte again under a level 3. But these communities here, all the way up through South Boston, Emporia, Franklin, Williamsburg, Tappahannock, Richmond, obviously Petersburg, Farmville, and up to D.C., all under this. And for the northern neck, parts of the Middle Peninsula, Gloucester and parts of Matthews under this level 4 threat. The western side of Newport News up towards Fort Eustis, you're under a level 4 threat for severe storms. Williamsburg, York, James City County areas off to the west. Isle of Wight basically divided. Eastern parts of Isle of Wight not under the level 4, under level 3. Level 4, though, for western areas down through Franklin, Southampton, Sussex, Surrey, and out towards Petersburg and Emporia. We mentioned that. Notice for Hampton Roads, this area here under a level 3 threat, and that in and of itself would be more than enough for us to say, hey, we've got a weather impact alert. We're anticipating severe storms. You know, be ready for that. Well, with the level 4 just sitting just out to the west over the western parts of our area, I mean, obviously this is a no-brainer. You absolutely do it. Up to the eastern shore, that threat continues, and down across northeast and eastern North Carolina, a level 3 threat. Now, what about the types of weather we could get? Tornado threat. Look at this potential. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. So a level 4 threat for those inland areas. And that means within 25 miles of any point shaded in this red, you have a 15% chance of seeing a tornado. And the fact that we have these black hashes on this, you take a look at that, that means that there could be EF2 or greater tornadoes. Now, we do get occasional tornadoes in Hampton Roads, typically EF0s, EF1s. When we cover stories and there is more widespread tornado damages, a lot of times the Weather Service goes out and confirms we had an EF2 tornado, sometimes an EF3. I think the Great Neck tornado verified is an EF3, if I'm remembering correctly. Those are the types of tornadoes. I remember covering a tornado out in Suffolk years back. Okay, it hit part of Suffolk, tore up around the Obacy area, one of the kind of hospital branches out there. I remember seeing a pickup truck into the side of the building, kind of picked up and stuck into the side of the building. There was a car hanging from a rafter inside a strip shopping mall. It's pretty amazing, the devastation to this strip mall out there in Suffolk. That was a similar type of tornado, EF2, borderline EF3. So you have the potential for these types of tornadoes, especially across central Virginia, but here in Hampton Roads as well. We have to be ready, and that's what we're really driving home. Then you look at the strong wind potential, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Guess what? There are 5 categories, 5 potential risk areas, and we've reached the highest levels across the western parts of the 13 News Now viewing area, central Virginia, central North Carolina. This, again, setup is no joke. I've been working here for the most part since 1997. I spent 3 years back in the Midwest in St. Louis at KSDK, our sister station. And in all of my time since 1997, I mean, this is some of the most ominous severe weather potential that I've seen. So we really are just driving home, folks. We have multiple ways to get the information out if there are warnings, if these storms reach their full potential. And these graphics, we're not just making this stuff up. We're sharing with you from the Storm Prediction Center what the outlooks are.